Scene script. Have you ever wondered who the real villain was behind the fall of Rome's golden age? The answer might surprise you: Emperor Commodus. If you're a history buff or even someone with a passing interest, the name Commodus might ring a bell. As the Roman emperor from 180 to 192 AD, Commodus was a significant figure in the narrative of one of the most prominent empires in human history. But his reign was no ordinary rule. It was a period marked by controversy, chaos, and a shocking departure from the days of glory that Rome was known for. While Rome's golden age was a time of prosperity and cultural refinement, the reign of Commodus marked a stark contrast. His rule saw the end of this era, a period that shone brightly with the brilliance of advancement in arts, literature, and governance. His influence on the empire's decline is a subject of intrigue that continues to captivate historians and history enthusiasts alike. Who was this man, and how did his rule contribute to the end of an epoch that was, quite literally, golden? What led Commodus, a man born into privilege and power, down a path that would ultimately lead to the decline of the empire he was destined to govern? These questions form the crux of our exploration today. As we delve deeper into the life and reign of Emperor Commodus, we'll uncover the layers of his personality, his decisions, and the impact they had on the empire he ruled. At the heart of this journey is a tale of power, corruption, and a fall from grace that altered the course of history. So, buckle up for a ride back in time, as we navigate the labyrinth of Rome's history, its glory, its downfall, and the man who played a pivotal role in this narrative. Dive into the fascinating and tumultuous reign of Emperor Commodus, the man who ended Rome's golden age. Born into royalty, Commodus had a destiny shaped by power and prestige. This son of Rome, born in the autumn of 161 AD, was no ordinary child. His early years played out in the grandeur of the imperial palace, nestled amid the 7 hills of Rome. From his earliest days, Commodus was surrounded by the trappings of power and authority, a testament to his father, Emperor Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, was a paragon of virtue and wisdom in the Roman Empire. He was a man of letters and a lover of peace, yet his reign was marked by almost continual warfare. Amid this turbulence, he raised Commodus, instilling in him the values of stoicism, duty, and wisdom that were the hallmarks of his own rule. Commodus was the apple of his father's eye, the first son born to a reigning emperor, a unique distinction that came to be known as "born in the purple." It was a term borrowed from the Eastern courts, where the color purple was synonymous with imperial power. Born in the purple, Commodus was not merely the son of an emperor, but a prince bred for rule, destined for the throne from his very first breath. Yet, despite his privileged upbringing, the young prince was not sheltered from the harsh realities of the world. His education was rigorous, his tutors among the finest in the empire. He was taught the art of war, the subtleties of politics, and the philosophies that guided the empire. He learnt the weight of the crown he was to inherit, the burden of leadership, the responsibility that came with power. Even as a child, Commodus showed signs of the man he would become, demonstrating a fierce intelligence and a ruthless ambition. Yet, beneath the surface, there were hints of the darker traits that would mar his reign. His fascination with gladiatorial games, his love for spectacle, his appetite for power, all foreshadowed the turbulent rule that lay ahead. Commodus's life was destined for greatness, or so it seemed. As we delve deeper into his story, we will uncover the complex layers that made up this Roman emperor who was as fascinating as he was controversial. From the death of a father to the rise of an emperor, Commodus's ascension was anything but ordinary. At the tender age of 15, Commodus was appointed co-emperor by his father, Marcus Aurelius, marking the first time in the history of Rome that a father and son had ruled together. This was no ordinary father-son bonding, but the grooming of a future emperor. Marcus Aurelius, known as the last of the 5 good emperors, was a philosopher king. He held a vision of a principled empire guided by wisdom and virtue. Young Commodus, on the other hand, was more drawn to the gladiator games and the cheers of the crowd. This stark contrast between father and son hinted at the radical shift the empire was about to experience. In the year 180, Marcus Aurelius died, leaving Commodus as the sole ruler of the Roman Empire. The young emperor, just 18 years old, inherited a realm that stretched from the Atlantic Ocean to the Euphrates River. However, the vision of a philosophical empire died with Marcus Aurelius. Commodus had different plans. In the initial years of his reign, Commodus relied heavily on the advice of his father's trusted advisors. This period was marked by relative peace and stability. But as time passed, Commodus began to dismiss these advisors, favoring instead those who fed his ego and shared his lust for spectacle. The Senate grew increasingly wary of Commodus, his erratic behavior, and his departure from his father's principled rule. Yet Commodus was unbothered. His focus was on his image, his popularity among the masses, and his performances in the gladiator ring. To him, the cheers of the crowd were more affirming than the approval of the Senate. Commodus was now the sole ruler of the Roman Empire, a position that would test his mettle in unimaginable ways. As emperor, Commodus's actions would shake the very foundations of the Roman Empire. This statement is not a mere exaggeration. Commodus's reign was indeed a seismic shift in Roman history, marked by significant events and drastic policy changes. Unlike his father, Marcus Aurelius, a devotee of Stoic philosophy, Commodus swung the pendulum of governance towards autocracy. He shrugged off the Stoic mantle of his father, preferring the intoxicating allure of absolute power. This shift was not just ideological, but also reflected in his policies, which were often marked by a disregard for the Senate and a preference for personal whims. Perhaps one of the most audacious acts of Commodus was the renaming of Rome. In an act of unrivaled vanity, he rebranded the city as Colonia Lucia Annia Commodiana, a tribute to himself, deeming it a new Rome. Not just that, he also renamed the months of the year after his various titles, a move that was seen as a shocking departure from tradition. However, the most notorious aspect of Commodus's rule was his participation in gladiatorial games. Commodus was infatuated with the idea of the gladiator, seeing himself as the embodiment of Hercules reborn. He often fought in the arena, a practice that was considered scandalous for a Roman emperor. Yet, he reveled in it, using it as a platform to display his physical prowess and instill fear. His gladiatorial exploits were not just about vanity, they were also a tool of political control. By presenting himself as an unbeatable gladiator, Commodus sought to create an image of an invincible ruler, a god among men. However, these games were often rigged, ensuring his victory and further cementing his image as a divine warrior. The reign of Commodus was indeed a spectacle, a dramatic departure from the Stoic rule of his father. It was a reign marked by extravagance, vanity, and a disturbing love for blood sport. Commodus's reign was marked by extravagance, vanity, and a disturbing love for blood sport. A reign that would forever be etched in the annals of Roman history as one of the most controversial and fascinating periods of the Roman Empire. Every reign has its end, and for Commodus, it was a violent and abrupt one. As the years rolled on, the once beloved emperor's rule began to falter. His obsession with gladiatorial games and his growing paranoia made him an easy target for those who sought to topple him from his throne. The decline of Commodus's rule was as dramatic as it was swift. His erratic behavior and lavish spending on games and spectacles drained the empire's coffers, leading to widespread dissatisfaction among the Roman populace and the Senate. His attempts to style himself as a living god, renaming Rome after himself and insisting on being worshipped as Hercules, only further alienated those around him. The final blow came from within his own inner circle. A conspiracy was hatched by those closest to him, including his mistress Marcia, the chamberlain Eclectus, and the prefect Letus. The plan was simple yet brutal, to assassinate the emperor and restore order to the empire. The plot unfolded on the last day of the year, 192. It was initially planned to poison him, but when Commodus vomited up the poison, a different, more direct method was chosen. Narcissus, a robust athlete, was tasked with strangling the emperor in his bath. With the emperor dead, the conspirators quickly moved to establish Pertinax, a respected senator and former military officer, as the new emperor. But the damage had been done. The empire was in chaos, its people disillusioned and its coffers empty. The once mighty Rome was on the brink of collapse, and the reign of Commodus had played a significant role in its downfall. Commodus's reign ended in a way that mirrored his rule, violent, unexpected, and leaving Rome in chaos. His death marked the end of the Pax Romana, a period of relative peace and stability for the Roman Empire. It was a fitting end to a reign marked by extravagance, paranoia, and a disregard for the traditions and values that had made Rome great. Commodus left an indelible mark on Rome for better or worse. As the son of the esteemed Marcus Aurelius, he held the potential for greatness. Yet his reign was marred by scandal, violence, and ultimately, a decline in the power and prestige of the Roman Empire. Commodus's legacy is one of contrasts. On one hand, he was a self-proclaimed gladiator, a persona that endeared him to the Roman populace. He presented himself as a hero, a man of the people, and to some extent, this image persists today. Yet, on the other hand, his obsession with gladiatorial combat and his disregard for the political responsibilities of his role led to widespread corruption and the weakening of the empire's infrastructure. After his death, the Roman Empire plunged into a period known as the Year of the Five Emperors, a time of chaos and instability. His successors struggled to restore order and regain the empire's former glory, but the damage had been done. The golden age of the Pax Romana had come to an end, and the decline of the Roman Empire had begun. Historians today view Commodus with a mixture of fascination and horror. His erratic behavior, his disregard for tradition and his brutal methods have made him a subject of intense study. Yet, despite his flaws, he remains a compelling figure, a symbol of the excesses and pitfalls of absolute power. The legacy of Commodus is a testament to the fact that the course of history is not always determined by the virtuous and wise. Sometimes it's the madmen and the tyrants who leave the deepest impressions. His reign serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition and the perils of a leader disconnected from the needs of his people. In the grand tapestry of Rome's history, Commodus is a dark thread, a stark contrast to the golden era of his father's reign. Yet, his story is an integral part of Rome's narrative, a chapter that cannot be ignored. Emperor Commodus, a man of controversy and contradiction, left a legacy that continues to fascinate historians today. Emperor Commodus, a man of power, extravagance, and brutality, still sparks questions today. This enigmatic figure, born into wealth and privilege, ascended to the throne as the Roman emperor in the twilight of the 2nd century. He was a man who embraced the power and grandeur of his position with unmatched fervor, often to the detriment of the empire he ruled. His early life was marked by promise. The son of Marcus Aurelius, one of Rome's most respected emperors, Commodus was groomed for greatness from an early age, yet his reign was far from the philosophical and virtuous rule of his father. Commodus was a man of excess, known for his lavish spectacles and flamboyant lifestyle. He saw himself not just as a ruler but as a living god, likening himself to the mythological hero Hercules. Commodus's reign, however, was not only marked by extravagance. His rule was also characterized by brutality and paranoia. He was known to execute those he perceived as threats, and his erratic behavior led to instability within the empire. His reign came to a sinister end when he was assassinated, a testament to the fear and resentment he had sowed among his own people. But despite his volatile reign, Commodus left a profound impact on the Roman Empire. His rule marked the end of the Pax Romana, a period of relative peace and stability. His death also initiated a year of chaos known as the Year of the Five Emperors, further underscoring the deep-seated issues within the Roman political system. Reflecting on his life and reign, it's clear that Commodus was a man of contradictions. He was both a product and a catalyst of his time, embodying the grandeur and the decay of the Roman Empire. His story serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the consequences of excess. As we explore the pages of history, characters like Emperor Commodus remind us of the power of individual actions and the ripple effects they can have on an entire civilization. Our journey through the life of Emperor Commodus comes to an end, but the echoes of his reign still resonate. This was a man who, despite his controversial actions and shocking deeds, left an indelible mark on the annals of history. His reign, filled with both triumphs and tragedies, serves as a testament to the complexity of human nature and the power of influence. It's been an enlightening experience delving into the life and times of this fascinating historical figure. As we conclude this journey, we hope you've gained a deeper understanding and appreciation for the intricacies of our past. Remember, history is not just a collection of dates and events, it's a rich tapestry interwoven with the threads of human lives, their struggles, achievements, and legacies. There are countless more stories to explore, more historical figures to understand, more pieces of the past waiting to be unveiled. Join us again on Historical Leaders Unveiled as we continue to pull back the curtain on history's most intriguing figures.